Welcome back to another episode of Flawless Play in Garage, where today we're working on this, my 2000 Acura Integra Type R. Now today we're just going to be finishing up some of the little details that just make that last little difference to really make a car feel right and look right. Find a lot of times like these little details to just get it back to 100% OEM, 100% stock, and 100% functional on all those little bits. Really just make it much more satisfying to own and drive and operate and enjoy. And if you've seen some of my other projects on this channel, you know that many of them are pretty far away from anything that could be considered stock or OEM or good condition or enjoyable, functional. Really even calling them cars is a stretch in most cases. But this one I really wanted to be able to enjoy in the way its makers originally intended. So let's get to it. But first I've got to tell you that today's very special episode is brought to you by the Center for the Refinishing of Ugly Center Caps and Replacement of Lug Nuts, the CFTROUCCROLN. And if your car is suffering from the scourge of ugly center caps and ugly lug nuts, then there is hope. You need not despair any longer. You too can repaint them yourselves because, of course, buying new ones isn't an option because it's a Type R and you can't get parts anymore. So, the design graphic on the center cap. Flawless plan number one was to purchase some vinyl stickers that were supposed to be the right dimensions and use these as a mask to repaint the center cap. However, upon close inspection, I discovered that the logo is not the same. Now these are hardly, licensed copies, but if you look closely, you'll notice that the slot there is not the same. In fact, if you look close enough, you can see how it's a bit curved down at the bottom of that slot in the top of the A, and a bit curved here as well. And the replica is not. It's got straight lines. Also the calipers themselves that form the A, the legs are not quite the same. Several minute differences that probably no one would ever notice from more than a foot away from the center caps, but I wasn't happy with it. So, flawless plan number one discarded. My wife generously offered to make some by hand on her silhouette cutter and proudly proclaimed that surely with 10 minutes of effort, starting with an image, she could alter it to match the original logo. And then, after just a few failed attempts and 2 or 3 hours of work, turns out we're all bad at estimating time in this family. We've got a much more faithful reproduction. There we go. You can see we've got kind of the curved edges. We've got the general shape and size, a much closer match. You can see when I overlay it onto the original one that it is a much better match. So, get these sanded down, print out a few more of this final design, and then we're going to get painting. All right, well, as usual, flawless plan number one is not going super well. This is after 4 or 5 coats, And you can probably just see here, I'm just not getting good coverage. I'm getting little fish eyes where it's not adhering properly. I knew I probably should have used a primer. Didn't really think I would need to as long as everything was clean and smooth. You can see like on this one, it's working out reasonably well. Also thought maybe if I just kind of scuffed it and added a couple coats, it would all smooth out. But it's not, so I have that much paint left. So I think now is the time to sand it completely off, or at least mostly off. Do what I should have done the first time, put some adhesion promoter on there, and then give this another go. Never time to do it right, but always time to do it twice. So on goes the adhesion promoter, which admittedly is more intended for glue than for top coats, but it's supposed to be appropriate. But sometimes you can tell right away that it's just not working. So I immediately wiped off, let everything dry, and then came back with an actual primer this time. And here, got the heat lamp set up to just help make sure it doesn't get too cold over the next little bit drying off here. Finally, pretty happy with this. 2, 3, 4 flawless plans later, something like that. I think we actually finally got good coverage. What a nice color too. Shame that only the logo is gonna remain that color, but pretty nice. And not a moment too soon either, because after all the attempts, that's how much paint I have left. Yeah. Now it's time for the masks. Now you can see still the vague and faint outline of the original logo even after I've painted these center caps. But as you're trying to put the sticker down, it's pretty tough to see that. So I used a little bit of just, Crayola washable marker that I swiped from the kids, and used that to just help make a mark around the outside edge of the logo that I could still see through that transfer tape as I stuck them down. And that worked out okay. But if they ask, you did not see me use that marker. Why, no, I'm not nervous at all. Why would you ask? Oh yeah, that'll do nicely. Okay, I thought this was actually kind of cool. I am a pretty big nerd, so, consider yourself warned. But I wasn't sure if I had enough clear coat on hand when I bought paint, and so guys at the paint store sold me this cool little doohickey. Basically, it's activated clear with a hardener built in, so it is a polyurethane, but it's in an aerosol form. And what you do is it's both parts included in the same can. So you take this little plastic doohickey, and then you punch this little pin down. The pin punctures the hardener in the can, and you shake it up, and then you've got a mixed clear ready to go out of the aerosol. We'll see how this goes. I have one shot at this, so hopefully it is as easy as it seems it will be. I'm gonna put this on here. Also, once I mix this, I think I have 48 hours of pot life in the can. Oh, it's not easy to push. There we go. I guess that's pushed. And we shake it again. I know it's a small thing, but sometimes getting the small things right is just really satisfying, and that's kind of what this particular video is all about. I was really happy with the way these came out, and with proper automotive finishes, this should hold up for a nice long time. And now onto the pedals. Some previous owner at some point had put on these Razzo pedals, and frankly, the little extension on the accelerator pedal was kind of nice for heel and toe work, but it had to go. I wanted to keep this thing as OEM as possible, experience it the way the Honda engineers intended, so some brand new pedal covers were an easy swap. Also, it's amazing what a difference it makes to the exterior of the car to just clean up a few of the little details, like these little areas on the wiper blades and on the wiper arms and on the little bolts that hold the third brake light in. Just cleaning those up, scuffing them up, getting some good quality trim paint on there really makes a difference on the exterior appearance of the car. So, of course, to get a nice original steering wheel, I had to buy two. One that had nice, good condition leather and a good airbag, and a second one that had some of the little plastic covers that this one was missing, since of course none of this stuff is available anymore. And back together, and some good news, I was able to find, the previous owner did leave me the original Type R plastic cover that goes in place of the cruise control switch. So unfortunately the bracket for it was missing. So I have it held in. With a bit of tape that you can kind of see from this angle. But that way, you know, no damage to any parts, holds it securely, nothing permanently altered there. Overall, the steering wheel's in good shape, but there is a little bit of discoloration in the leather. I'm not sure if you can quite see on camera. It's kind of right up in here, where some of that black color has worn off, just here on the top. So Alex at Legit Street Cars had recommended this stuff. We're going to give it a try here, see how it works. He had the advantage of sponsorship that I don't have, but you know, we'll see how it works. And if it does well on the steering wheel at restoring this area where things are a bit worn through, maybe I'll see if I can restore some worn through areas I have up here too. And after a day to cure, I'm really happy with that. It looks pretty much 100% better. And they recommend to follow it up with some of this to kind of provide that final finish and softness to the leather again. So we're going to give this a shot. Worried about kind of that dye transfer, but it looks real good. Just kind of work a little bit of this in and not getting any dye transfer onto the gloves. It seems like a good thing. Now for a little tour of the interior. Really quite happy with the way the steering wheel came out. Lighting all fixed, stereo and antenna all fixed. Was actually originally missing one of these plastic covers. Got a new OEM replacement for that. Still have the original armrest badge here, number 1517 in the year 2000. The original checkerboard floor mats. Excellent shape, other than the driver's side. A little dusty right here. So it's a little bit in slightly better condition than what it shows on camera. But there's definitely a little bit of wear. Seats really in decent shape. Back seats in excellent shape. Do have a little bit of sun fading on the top edges. And the rear checker floor mats in excellent shape. Trunk release fixed using the guts from an Odyssey door switch to repair the inner portions of the electric switch on the Integra. And then overall the trunk mat in really good shape. Does still have the original ITR stress bar back here. And the floor underneath in excellent shape as well. No corrosion. A little bit of dirt down there, but no rust or corrosion issues down in the spare tire well either. Original little deck lid cover. And here you can see there is a little bit of sun fading on the top of the back seats, but really not bad, not noticeable. Amazing how much just some paint and cleaning up on these little metal bits like the wiper arm, the plastic cover, these little metal kind of rivets that hold the third brake light. All those little details really make a big difference. Overall, I am just really happy with the final state, shall we say, of this car. It looks fantastic out on the street after another 10 or 15 hours of paint correction and an Avalon King ceramic coating. It's certainly not perfect. There are still, even after some extensive PDR work, there are still a few little hail dings, but they're tough to spot. There's a couple scrapes in the paint on the bumper and on the skirts. But overall, it looks gorgeous on the street. Really catches people's eyes and people's attention, especially for the cognoscenti that know something about how special this car really is. And it's just a fantastic car to drive, a fantastic one to get out and enjoy on a nice summer evening, or take down a back road for a little bit and blow off some steam. It's been an excellent car to enjoy that way. So the real question is, what am I going to do with it next? And well, like you should probably be used to on this channel by now, once I get something that's actually nice and actually works properly, I think it's time to put it up for sale. Maybe it's because I start to lose interest once something is really fixed and really right. Maybe it's because I could use the cash for a home renovation project. Maybe I just have a deep-seated fear of being happy and have to distance myself from anything that could potentially make me that way. It's almost certainly that. But at any rate, I think we're going to see if this car can find a new owner who can enjoy it as much as I have. Thanks for watching. See you next time.